Looks like we're good to go. Let's start this up. Oh, come on, really? No. No ads. I tried to do something cool. And instead it gives me an ad. Come on, YouTube. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
That needs to never happen again. Alright, let's hop into the game. It's showtime, baby. Alright, let's take a look at the board. We're going to start with Merlin. So on Merlin's side, we have Single Purity Warpath, Single Purity Sleepers, and Single Purity Genesis. This looks really similar to the deck that Helios played. And it looks like Gooby has pretty much taken a mirror on that. Oh yeah, Nexus is still around, he just took a hiatus. So this looks like we're pretty much in a mirror match. Let's take a look at Gooby's hand. So a Fear, a Zombie Gun, an Infected Hulker, Splitterbot, Awaken, and Laser Cannon. Looks like Gooby tried to go a little more on the control side, whereas Merlin's deck is pretty much just geared towards Infected Hulker. I'm sure Gooby has a similar list. Very interesting. I guess this is the meta for the May ban list. You got to appreciate Gooby using the corrupted factory battlefield. Got to appreciate it. Oh, and he's got a gold Splitterbot. I mean, hey, look at this. Look at how much of a mirror this is. Gold Splitterbot. Gold Splitterbot. Gold Splitterbot. Except, okay, so Merlin's gold Splitterbot was foil. So Merlin won that trade because Merlin has a gold Splitterbot. It's just what gold does for you, man. It's what it does. So we're going to focus on Gooby's screen for a second here. He's going to use Laser Cannon, try and take out the 2 tokens and the hulking sniper. It looks like he might be reconsidering that decision. I would personally save Laser Cannon until he starts buffing up the Infected Hulker. The Infected Hulker does not gain health when you buff it, only power. So instead of using Laser Cannon, smart move, he's going to play out the Drop Bear and Enrage it. So Drop Bear has haste, which means you can play it and enrage it in the same turn. Yeah, gold foil greater than gold. We all know this to be true. Let's see. So, let's take a look at Merlin's screen here. So he's got 2 zombie guns, an Infected Hulker in support, an Infected Hulker in his command line, and a Genesis Battlesuit. Wonder what he's going to do with the Genesis Battlesuit. What happens when 2 infected parasites battle, or evolving parasites is what you meant, battle each other? Bugs. The game just freaks out. Okay, so Merlin is going to pop the Genesis Battlesuit onto the Infected Hulker. Smart move. Smart move. He's going to play a zombie gun on the evolving parasite. Let's switch over to Gooby's screen, see if he's doing anything with that evolving parasite. So Gooby has initiative this turn. Looks like he's played Fear and has not moved the evolving parasite out. So if we switch back to Merlin's screen, looks like that zombie gun's going to fizzle entirely. The Fear didn't do very much. It only pushed back that Genesis token, so it didn't really have a big effect on anything that was pretty much a null turn. That said, Merlin has 2 Brings Life by Passings out. He's got 9 resources to Gooby's 7. So Merlin has the upper hand, quite literally. On the other hand, Gooby has a bigger hand. Gooby has at his disposal another zombie gun, Infected Hulker, Awaken, and Laser Cannon. So Merlin's Infected Hulker that's deployed is already at 1517, out of range of the laser cannon. The Infected Hulker that he has in command is 1113, only 2 away from being, or 3 away from being out of range of the laser cannon. That said, if we take a look at Goobypls's Infected Hulker right here, or over here now, quit moving it, that's a gold foil Infected Hulker. So any trade with an Infected Hulker, his gold foil would win, because obviously gold foils are stronger. Kappa. I mean, as Merlin proved with the gold foil splitter bot. That's a support drone onto the 1113 Infected Hulker. So it is now very far out of range of the laser cannon. That's unfortunate. Goobypls targeted another zombie gun onto that evolving parasite, and Merlin kept it back in command, which means he's now out of zombie guns. He's blown 2 on an evolving parasite that Merlin has not moved. So let's take a look at Merlin's board here. Bunch of tokens, hulking snipers. Going to put, no, yeah, I was going to say, what are you doing with Brings Life by Passing? Yeah, reasons. He did not use the zombie gun on the Infected Hulker. Very strange. He knew that the Infected Hulkers were already deployed, and Merlin simply sat back and used that evolving parasite until both zombie guns were already used. Now Gooby doesn't have access to any more zombie guns, while Merlin has 1 sitting in his hand. That said, Merlin is very low on cards. So if Gooby is able to stabilize this board at some point, this is going to be a lot of damage going through. This is going to be a lot of damage going through to both sides. So Merlin is down to 60-72. Gooby eats 40 to the face. And that's now 59. This is not looking very good for Goobypls. Merlin can outrace him here. What's he going to use Zombie God on? He can play it on the Evolving Parasite. He can use it on the Infected Hulker. Either way, Gooby does not have lethal while Merlin does. This is not a good situation for Goobypls. Let's switch back to Gooby's board here. He's got an Eaten by Zombies. Let's see what he wants to do with it. Might play it on... Okay, so he plays it on the Infected Hulker. He's going to move everything over to defense. This is not going to be a good trade for Gooby. Gooby was already behind in board presence. He's got 3 resources left. Is he going to fight something? Is he going to shuffle away that hulking sniper? He's going to fight. Okay, so he's going to fight the Infected Hulker onto the Evolving Parasite to get it out of the way before it's actually a problem. Keep in mind, Eaten by Zombies was already played on the 1811 Infected Hulker. Merlin still has a really strong board presence. Zombie Gon goes off and takes out everything around the Evolving Parasite. That was a huge blow to Goobypls. Huge. Absolutely massive. That's game. That has to be game. Gooby does not have the board presence to hold up after that Zombie Gon 4000. That was an extremely potent Zombie Gon. That's 25. Gooby's now down to 30, 32. This game is going to go over to MerliniX. Gooby is just going to allow MerliniX to fight through. That was a very strong first game from Merlin. Look at that ending board presence. GG. Look at that ending board presence. Good lord. Merlin is scary. That's going to be game 1. And they're going to switch into game 2 here in just a moment. Keep in mind this is a best of 3 between rank 1 MerliniX and Goobypls. Look at this. Look at this. Merlin doesn't even have a sideboard. He is so confident in his deck he doesn't even have a sideboard. Gooby, pretty standard Infected Hulker deck sideboard. GG was some chick I met in Spain. Haha, Kappa. So, Feast on the Dead, Grave Rob, 2 more Feast on the Deads, 3 Firebolts, 2 Laser Cannons, and 2 Mountain Giants. See if Gooby is going to do anything with this sideboard. There's not too much in that sideboard to contest what Merlin has. Looks like he's going to bring in another Grave Rob. I wouldn't run Wall of the Dead in this deck. That's a personal preference. The deck is revolved around Infected Hulker, right? And if you're in a position where you have to use Wall of the Dead in order to prolong the match, Wall of the Dead is only hurting your own win condition, and you're already in a poor position if you have to play Wall of the Dead. So, to those playing this kind of a deck, I would not recommend Wall of the Dead. I believe he should sideboard in another Undead Corruption or 2. He does have the Zombie Guns to match it. I would get those Hulking Snipers out of the deck. He knows what his opponent is playing, and that he does not have access to any flying characters. I'm not sure why he would leave the Hulking Snipers in there. Alright, we're getting started on Game 2 of the best of 3 between MerliniX and Goobypls. Let's go over to Merlin's board. As you can see, Merlin has a Hulking Sniper, a Bloodthirsty Dead, an Undead Corruption, a Genesis Battlesuit, and a foil Genesis Battlesuit. We know how beautiful foil cards are. Absolutely. Give that Hulker a jetpack. I concur. I absolutely concur. No, of course. But what's the Sniper going to do you in the mid-game? Especially against a mirror match. Another Laser Cannon, an Undead Corruption. Yes, you would sacrifice any turn 1, turn 2 plays, but you're giving yourself a better position in the mid-game. So let's take a look at Gooby's board here. He's got a Recycle, a Grave Rob, 2 Genesis Battlesuits, and a Recarl. He's going to pull out his Evolving Parasite early. I'm not sure who he's trying to target with the Parasite. You're going to want to undo that, Gooby. Okay. So what are you going to do with those 6 resources? He's going to play out both Genesis Battlesuits. If he can get that Bloodthirsty Dead as an 18-18, that'd actually be pretty funny. So this is they're both just playing setup right now. So both of them actually have 2 Genesis Battlesuits on the field at the same time. It looks like Gooby is going to try and go a little more on the offensive. Let's see if he's actually willing to do that. If you put some pressure on Merlin early, I'd like to see how his deck responds, because Merlin was the one putting the pressure on Goobypls last game. So let's see if Goobypls is going to be able to alter his playstyle just a little bit, and see if he'll be able to pull out a win in Game 2. Okay, he's going to pop 1 Genesis Battlesuit onto the Bloodthirsty Dead, and then move Splitterbot out to Assault. What are you going to do with that second Battlesuit? He's going to take the second Battlesuit and put it back onto his Infected Hulker that's sitting in command, rather than anything that's deployed or waiting for something to be deployed. Alright. Let's see if that pays off for him. Let's see what Merlin's going to do here. So he's got 2 snipers and Bloodthirsty dead in defense. Looks like he's already sacrificed one of the Genesis battlesuits onto something in his defense line. Is he going to go pure assault? Both of them are rethinking their turns heavily. Both of them are really going back and forth, thinking about exactly how they want to do this. So fight goes off on the Genesis battlesuit. Merlin's initiative coming into heavy play there. So Goobypls is going to sacrifice one of the Genesis battlesuits onto the Infected Hulker. The Infected Hulker and the Bloodthirsty dead will trade. That was a pretty even trade for both sides. However, this was an Infected Hulker that it died to. So, Merlin still has 2 Genesis battlesuits and another Infected Hulker sitting in command. Goobypls has an Infected Hulker in his hand without any Genesis battlesuits. I would say that trade went to Merlin. Let's take a look at Gooby's board. Support drone going to come out, see who he wants to put that on. He could just put the splitter bot out in defense. He could recycle the Infected Hulker. He has to keep in mind that Merlin has 2 Genesis battlesuits available to him while he has none. So it looks like Gooby is just going to try and play an even board state and just see what Merlin's going to be able to do. That Bloodthirsty dead is going to not do anything. The 2 splitter bots are going to trade with each other again. That's going to give them the Genesis constructs. But he has to keep in mind that that infect is going to keep coming into play. Going to recycle. What do you want to recycle? I'd recycle your Infected Hulker. You need another one. But he's still got access to his Evolving Parasite. Merlin has 2 battlesuits and a splitter bot deployed with the 2 constructs. This is not looking good for Goobypls. This is not looking good. Let's take a look at Merlin's board. Laser Cannon and Recycle have been played, likely trying to get back one of his splitter bots, or perhaps another Infected Hulker. Laser Cannon going to go off. He'll want to take out the 2 Bloodthirsty deads. Bloodthirsty dead only gains its Bloodthirst 4 when it's in combat with another character. So Laser Cannon will be able to one-shot both of those Bloodthirsty deads with a single charge. So let's see what happens here. Support drone comes into play, buffs up the Infected Hulker. Laser Cannon takes out both Bloodthirsty deads and a hulking sniper. Very strong. So MerliniX has an incredibly strong board position here. Incredibly strong board position. Let's take a look at Goobypls' board. Taking a look through his opponent's graveyard, he wants to recycle something. Gonna get back the Infected Hulker that's gonna let him draw a card. Does he want to use the Fear this turn? Does he want to use Evolving Parasite? Does he want to give MerliniX more time to ramp up his board presence? Gooby is in a pretty bad position here. He has played a Grave Rob, so he's hoping to diminish the power of that Infected Hulker before Merlin can enrage it. Fortunately for him, he does have initiative this turn, so that does help. Decides to undo the Grave Rob. Oh, okay, so he is going to play it again. I love watching this. They go back on their turns so much and rethink what they want to do. Gonna pay 5, draw a card. He gets a hulking sniper out of that, so it really wasn't worth the 5, but he does play Fear. Grave Rob goes off. Merlin CTA's an Evolving Parasite in command, so that CTA didn't do very much. Genesis battlesuits both go off on the Infected Hulker. That's a pretty... and it has not been enraged. Yes, Grave Rob. He is playing a mirror match against an Infected Hulker deck, and Infected Hulker's Enrage is based off of the characters in your graveyard. So, Grave Rob's a decent counter to it. Makes it so it can't really enrage for very much. Takes away the power of the Infected Hulker. Have I been saying infected this entire time? It's infested. My brain. Alright, let's switch over to Merlin's board here. He's got a 22-17 Infested Hulker sitting in Assault. His support line doesn't look too great, but it looks like he's played another Laser Cannon and give him a jetpack. So it looks like Merlin is going to give that Hulker a jetpack. Let's switch over to Gooby's board. Trying to go all out on that Assault. See if he can't base race Merlin. This late into their game, both of their healths are still pretty high up there. So Goobypls at 84.72, Merlin at 96.78. So this is where it's going to start to really tell exactly what's going to happen. So Merlin does indeed give that Hulker a jetpack. Merlin's going to take out a couple of tokens from the Splitterbot with the Laser Cannon. Goobypls takes 23 to the face. Merlin takes 27 to the face. So it's now 61-69. Oh, the Zombie Gun on the Infested Hulker. Very strong. Unfortunately, Zombie Gun is only going to catch the single Infested Hulker if Merlin does not pull it back. Let's take a look at Merlin's board. It looks like he is going to pull the Infested Hulker back. It looks like Merlin might be calling Gooby's bluff and will dodge the Zombie Gun. However, Merlin has played a Zombie Gun of his own, and it looks like he'll be targeting that Evolving Parasite on Gooby's board. Let's watch this from Merlin's perspective. I want to see exactly what happens this turn. Gooby still has the Zombie Gun that's going to go off. And if he does not undo that, that Zombie Gun's going to be wasted, and Merlin will dodge it. This could be a really, really unfortunate turn for Goobypls. Let's watch this unfold. Goobypls is just about to end his turn. Alright, here we go. Zombie Gun goes off on the Infested Hulker, and Merlin did pull it back, which means it misses. Ouch. Merlin's Zombie Gun takes out the Recarl and the Evolving Parasite. This was a really unfortunate turn for Goobypls. Merlin top decks a fight. He's going to fight his own Infested Hulker onto Goobypls' gold foil Infested Hulker. So, 25-20 against a 16-17. If Goobypls were to enrage that Hulker this turn, it would in fact take out Merlin's Infested Hulker, so this is a little bit of a risky play. Let's watch this happen from Gooby's side of the board. So he's putting his Hulker and his Splitterbot in defense. Not entirely sure. He's just waiting. That's all he can do right now. Merlin's board presence is so strong. It doesn't look like he's going to enrage his Infested Hulker. Obviously, he doesn't know that Merlin is going to be playing the fight onto it. If he did enrage the Hulker this turn, it might have killed Merlin's. As a result, nothing happens. Okay, so two fights go off for both sides. So what happened there was both of them were expecting to use their Infested Hulkers to fight something on the opponent's side of the field. What ended up happening was that they traded Infested Hulkers, and Merlin got the Splitterbot. Merlin used two fights to get rid of Gooby's Infested Hulker and a Splitterbot, which means Merlin ends up with Gooby's Splitterbot and Infested Hulker, and Gooby ends up with Merlin's Infested Hulker. Little bit of an uneven trade, but an interesting trade nonetheless. Both of them are very, very low on the cards in their hand. Goobypls is resorting to the Wall of the Dead. As I was talking about during the sideboarding phase, I don't agree with Wall of the Dead in this deck. It's only going to hurt Infested Hulker. And he's trying to base race against Merlin right now, and that's not going to work. That's not going to work. He does have Wall of the Dead that's going to protect him for 1 turn, it looks like. Goobypls is down to 23 morale. Merlin is up at 52-59. It doesn't have very many characters left, as he just showed us, so Wall of the Dead isn't going to be effective for very much longer. Let's see what he wants to do with the Infested Hulker this turn. Switch back to Merlin's board. He's just going all out on Assault. He's going to break right through that Wall of the Dead. Still has a drop bear in his hand. It looks like he's played CTA. I imagine he targeted the Infested Hulker on Goobypls' board with the CTA. Still has drop bear, obviously can hasten and rage it with 10 resources out. He has plenty of options available to him. Let's see if Gooby is going to be able to do anything to defend against this. He's got maybe a couple characters left to use Wall of the Dead with. Other than that, Wall of the Dead isn't going to do too much for him. Gooby's elected to go straight into defense. He has to be wary of his morale. He only has 23 left. Only has 23 morale. So his Infested Hulker gets CTA'd. Merlin enrages his Infested Hulker. Gooby enrages his drop bear. Let's see how this turns out for him. He's going to lose quite a bit of morale in this. So he's down to 14 morale, 12 morale. Yeah. This is going to be GG. This is going to go over to Merlin. Merlin has the board presence. He has the health and the morale advantage. It's going to Zombie-Gon the Infested Hulker. That would take out the Infested Hulker and a single Splitterbot if the positions are maintained. Switch back over to Merlin's board. Let's see what he's doing. So he has a Recarl in. He used, it looks like, the Trading Post to draw for 5, and plays out the Recarl. He's just going to leave everything in Assault. He changed the positioning of the Infested Hulker, which means Zombie-Gon actually took out 3 characters. So Infested Hulker and Splitterbot trade, and that means Goobypls is going to get the Splitterbot back. However, Goobypls has lost on morale. That was extremely close. Merlin was left with 14 morale at the end of that. Very, very close match in that last game. Goobypls might have been able to handle that better with a different sideboard, but the morale loss is real, and that's going to go 2-0 in favor of MerliniX over Goobypls. GG, well played.